Have fun with him or let him go. Have fun with her or let her go. Have fun with it or let it go.
Yeah.
Meaning person, place, thing, idea, whatever it is. Have fun with it or let it go. As long as you're having fun with it, then the momentum is positive and it will get better and better. If you're not having a good time with it, then it's evoking effort from you. And then the effort just makes you tired and keeps you from having fun.
Yeah.
We can tell that we're having a pretty strong conversation about effort versus trusting, about letting it be rather than making it be. And it's also a strong conversation or evidence of a belief. It's sort of like pushing the noodle. It's the difference between allowing it to unfold and trying to make it unfold. And there's a belief within you, it's within a lot of people, that says, my attention to it and my effort factor are what are going to make this go. And we say, it's actually the other way around. It's your absence of resistance that's going to let something that you want go. It's not your attention to it and your hard work and effort that makes it go. And people don't get that because there is a certain action factor that does make the difference. In other words, you could line people up with something to move from one place to another, and a strong person could pick it up and move it faster than a weaker person. Someone more determined is going to move that physical thing further. But that's not the game you play in. You're playing in a game of higher stakes with faster currents and energies and bigger repercussions and bigger results than just moving something from one place to another. So don't let yourself be confused about what a little bit of mediocre action can accomplish in relationship with what true alignment to the energy that creates worlds can accomplish. And sometimes people sacrifice their alignment and all of that power for just using their brute strength or willingness to dig in with their minds to accomplish something. Did you hear that? And you know how you can tell the difference? By how it feels. If it feels hard, it isn't working. If it feels hard, you're working. It isn't working. Allowing the universe to provide is really what you're wanting to have at the basis of all of this. You're thinking things into being. You're not doing things into being. You're finding a vibration that then allows a thought. And when you receive the thought, which inspires an action, that's a whole other thing than making something happen by realizing that you've got to dig in and make it happen. Can you feel the difference? It would be like saying, I've lived enough life to know what I want relative to, let's say, a relationship. Just stay with us for a moment. And I don't currently have that dominant, significant relationship that I want. But I've lived enough life and I've put it into the vortex. So now I'm going to trust the universe to yield it to me through my path of least resistance. And then you get an idea. I'm going to do online dating. Well, you want to ask yourself, where did that idea come from? Did it come from here or did it come from here? Is it effort? Is it logic and statistics, or was it truly an inspired thought? Or I'm wanting to create a magnificent business enterprise, and I put all of my desires and interests into my vortex, and then I get an idea. Well, did the idea come from alignment, or is it an action-oriented idea that I've tried before? You have to play with this a little bit before you know the difference. Just have to play with it for a while. And soon you'll be able to tell the difference about where the impulse is coming from the receiving mode of my connection with Source, or from the receiving mode of me just being tired of not having what I want. You're always in some receiving mode because your tuner is always on. You just want to be aware of what you've got it tuned to. And you can tell that in a pretty accurate way by just assessing, what's my general mood been today? If I've been just sort of awkward in my being and ornery and disappointed about life and discouraged and halfway depressed, it's a pretty good sign that every idea you got came from here, not here. What's my mood? And if that's been your mood, then when you go to bed tonight, say, I'm going to leave these thoughts and these moods somewhere else, because while I sleep, the momentum of all of that will subside. And when I awaken, I'm going to be in a new place. And then when you wake up, acknowledge that you're in a new place. And if you can find time to meditate for 15 minutes, and we know you can, quiet your mind and reset yourself, and then notice how this day plays out. We've been talking about meditation with you all a lot today, and we know that these are only words to you until you've actually quieted your mind and gotten to that place where you are actually feeling detached from your body and where you can actually feel yourself feeling different than you have felt in terms of consciousness, and where you're detached enough that you really can't tell your toe from your nose. In other words, you can feel that you're in that different space, and then an idea occurs to you and feels good when it occurs, and then produces really good experience as you follow through with it. Until you've actually had that experience, then you don't know what we're talking about here. You haven't personally and consciously accessed the energy that creates worlds for your personal creation. And so Esther's been noticing there are a couple of people in her life that she really likes a lot and thinks a lot about, and they are often presenting to her a conundrum that they can't quite work through. And she's been wanting so much for them to discover the magic and the clarity and the power of meditation, but they just don't quite go there. They just don't quite go there. Someone gave her a really good analogy the other day. It's like getting in your car to go somewhere and refusing to bring your keys. So you almost got it all right. You went to the garage, you got in the vehicle, you opened the garage door, but you refused to bring your keys. So as you come into your physical bodies, it is natural for you to want to uplift. It is natural for you to want to make a difference. The message that we keep bringing to you over and over again is that you make the difference by reconnecting to this same energy, not by getting all mixed up in the variety of wants and needs that surround you. And so what happens as groups of people like you gather who are consciously aware that you are teachers to the core of your being. You call yourself healers and teachers and uplifters. In other words, these are the labels that you give to yourselves. You come, you don't mean to, it's just sort of a natural byproduct of this mindset that you gather up. You come into an attitude of service. You want to be of service to others. And we want you to understand why there are cross currents in that attitude of service. Because I've come to serve others. What the basis of it is, I'm going to find my connection and I'm going to do for you what you haven't figured out how to do for yourself. Which sort of flies in the face of your actual intent to come together and be uplifters. Can you feel the cross current in that? We could write 15 or 20 books. We could do it all today, in fact, about what service is and why it usually doesn't work for the one who is serving or for the one who is being served. Because when you say to someone, I do this for you because I see you can't do it for yourself, it's kind of like, oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, but I'll take it anyway. You know how we were just talking about how the birds will come as non-physical messengers. And often after someone that you love makes their departure or reemerges into non-physical and you feel that they are gone to you. And often their non-physical beingness will engage a bird or some other nice available critter to bring a message to you. And when you see that bird or that whatever it is just come and look right at you, you for a moment know that that was a message that came from your dearly departed. Sometimes you know that. It happens all the time. And what we would like you to realize is that when you consistently hang around in step 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, where you're in the allowing mode, where you are appreciating and meditating and feeling good and feeling satisfaction and mostly tuned in, tapped in, turned on and feeling good and feeling joyful and having fun. And then you are like these beasts that roam your planet and the airways of your planet, where when someone else is asking, very often you can be the step 2 in their equation. They're asking, Source is answering, and you are the helpful person right there helping with the answer. So it's that inspired being in the right place at the right time and receiving this thing to say to this person right then. You see what we're getting at? That is the ultimate service that you could offer to anyone. So what we're really saying to you is, unless you're in the receiving mode, you cannot be of service to anyone. And when you are in the receiving mode, you're thriving in all ways. So sacrifice and not letting yourself thrive in all the ways you want to thrive never can put you in a place of service to anyone else that's of any value. You got to be thriving to really serve. You've got to be thriving to really be of service. Because if you're not tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you don't have anything to give anyone except some hard work and action and sacrifice, which does not amount to very much. What you're saying to us is, I have a lot of thoughts about this one, and I'm not willing to give up all of these thoughts that I've had about this one, but I want it to respond differently to me, even though I'm pretty much thinking the same thoughts that I've always thought about it. So I'd like it to be different than it has been being, even though I want to think about it in the same way that I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you just can't get there from there. But there is something that we want to give to you that we think might free you from this sort of mismatch of thoughts. Often, because you are born from this pure positive energy, knowing your value and wanting to get in, mix it up, and uplift. When you come into your physical bodies, you are such collective consciousness coming in that you have, hear this, it will help you so much. You have a very personal relationship with so many other humans because you are this collective energy coming into so many bodies. Does that make sense to you? And because you are this collective energy coming into so many bodies, you then, in a sense, have a stake about how they do. You care about how they do. You've all come together and you've all come to play together and you all want joyous co-creation together. And that translates into our message to you when we say you are an uplifter to the very core of your being, which means you care about getting yourself into a place where you can be of value to others. And they feel the same way about you too. You're not in a unfun way looking around for the right vehicle, and when you find it, you feel fun. You get fun, find a vehicle, and your fun makes it right. Source energy can flow toward anything, and when source energy flows, this is what happens when source energy flows to something through you. It expands, it becomes more interesting, it gathers more cooperative components, it gathers momentum, it becomes more. That's just what happens with your focus. And so if something's already got your focus pinched off because you already have beliefs about it that aren't letting it flow, then sometimes it's just easier to let it go and give your attention to something else.
We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious to come together with those like you who are willing to rendezvous with us out on the leading edge in a new place. It is satisfying to feel the power of your desire and hear the specifics of that which you are about, and to resonate with the fullness of who you are in your vortex, and then express it verbally and vibrationally and feel you get up to speed with the fullness of it. For us, these gatherings are always more emotional than they are verbal, meaning it is always much more of a feeling experience as we feel you little by little come into fuller resonance with who you really are. We want to say to you that we all make way too much of all of this. That you can't get it wrong and you never get it done. And the reason that you never get it wrong is because it's not done. It's never done. It's never done. It's never done. It's never done. There's just more opportunity for you to discover and experience the fullness of who you are. So when you find that emotional place, when you decide that your emotion right here, right now, is the manifestation that you're reaching for and the manifestation that you have control over, and you figure out how to go general if you need to, how to milk the vortex if you want to, when you figure out how to hold yourself increasingly in more and more of those good feeling emotions, and then you consciously acknowledge the manifestations that must come on the heels of them, your personal sense of empowerment will be such that you will begin making statements such as, I never ever want to leave this place. I so adore being this God force in physical flesh, blood, and bone who gets to focus into reality, the perfection of source. And that's really what you're doing. You're focusing into reality, the perfection of that which you at all levels of your being have desired. You can't separate your desire from ours. When you find something that feels good, you've found our desire. You've found resonance with our desire. Jerry has asked us many times over the years, Abraham, what is it that you want? And our answer has always been the same. We want you to know who you are. And we want you to be who you be. And we want you to experience the joyous in